My name is Joshua Perez. I am the co-founder and the president of Swagga House Run Club. We started the club in July of 2020. The reason we started it was because we wanted to educate and really focus and highlight the mental health aspect of running and being active, especially in the Black and brown communities. 2019, I was registered to do my first marathon with someone named Dante Austin, who was a very close friend of mine. He was like a son. I considered him a son. He was biracial and he was openly gay. He dealt with a lot of discrimination and he was a support system for a lot of people. Sadly, in June of 2019, 5 months prior to the marathon taking place, he took his own life. After that, to say that I was devastated is probably an understatement. But I spoke to Ron Pichardo, who's a good friend of mine.
Hi, my name is Ron Pichardo, owner of Swagga House Tattoo and co-founder of Swagga House Run Club. And he talked me into running with him. I just felt like I needed to jump in and make sure he fulfilled his promise to Dante at the time. He was going through that. We chopped it up for a while and then I felt brave enough to jump into this marathon, not really realizing what it meant as far as training and stuff went. And that's exactly where I messed up at. Because now I run every day.
And it became our therapy. It became a grieving session for me. And the therapeutic benefits and the escape that it provided, I just can't put into words. After completing that marathon and honoring Dante in 2019, we started Swagga House Run Club with 12 people, 3 months into the pandemic. So with all of that, I felt as though the message was more powerful than any obstacle that was put in place at that time. And we went forward, and over 3 years later, here we are now. So I met Chris Fitzgerald through work. For some reason, he helped fill the void that Dante had left, and we had a very special bond. He was one of the original 12 that came out at the first Swagga House Run Club event.
And it was really Josh's birthday, so we were like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And he's like, well, why don't we just do a run? I'm like, well, that's whack. And that's where I met Chris and officially really bonded, not just Chris with everybody else, but with Chris especially. And then from there, it's kind of like I just kept seeing him all the time with Josh, and then he would come by the shop and pop up, and man, he's like a dope soul, man.
In order for Ron and I to move forward with this idea and this run club, it depended on the 12 people's feedback. And Chris was one of the ones with this overwhelmingly positive feedback, and it helped us propel and it helped us realize that this message was really resonating with people and that it would. One of the things that really stood out about Chris was his way to get along with so many people. But I remember in vivid detail one conversation I had with him. His father was a police chief at a large police department at the time. I asked him, I said, how come you're not working with your dad? And he said to me, and this spoke volumes of his character, he said, oh, my dad said I can go over and I'm sure I could probably get in any unit I want to. His answer to his father was, I'm my own man, I have to build my own legacy and for myself and my family. When I spoke to Chris, I always was in awe because I felt as though he was very young at age. When I met him, he was about 28 years old, but it seemed as though his soul was here in another lifetime because he spoke with so much knowledge and experience that was far beyond his age and years. But he was definitely my little brother, and he's missed. He's missed.
I never seen this dude upset. I want to say, he always was upbeat and always was cool and very chill guy, very purpose driven, encouraging, and just keeping a great vibe about him. So if there's one thing I can say about Chris is, man, this dude was really just a positive soul, man.
Why we want to do the Barrio run up was something that I spoke to him, and that was about getting our people. One of the things is I really feel as though the word inclusive is overused at times, and for some of the people to feel comfortable, you have to meet them on their home field. And whether or not that's at the Barrio or some of these areas that don't show up on Strava, that's what we have to do if we truly want to be inclusive and bring people in who wouldn't normally show up to run clubs or things of that nature or in those spaces.
This Barrio Run 5K coming up on Saturday, it's This is it was already a very meaningful thing for both Josh and I. It turned into something even more purposeful, bringing awareness to Chris's situation and also the type of person he was. And this run on Saturday is major.
But what we are doing is we focused on the way that he was lost, and we know that it's tragic. But this run is really to honor him and the way that he lived. And it's a celebration of his life and how he touched so many people and how we can actually be more like Chris. The turnaround point for this run is going to be Christopher Fitzgerald Way. And this wasn't named Christopher Fitzgerald Street, Boulevard, or any of it. It was named Christopher Fitzgerald Way for the way that he lived his life. And that's what we're going to focus on for this run. We're going to continue to honor him in the best way we can by just impacting the community in a positive way. At the end of every run, I always had a conversation with Chris when he was with us, and he would always say, I would say, little bro, how was that run? Because I knew that he would get to different groups and talk to people, and he would mingle, and he would have conversation, he would network, and he would do a lot of things to get feedback from people. And he always said, big bro, I know you're tired of hearing this, but this was the best one yet. So it's only fitting that this one here, what we're gonna do, the Barrio 5K in honor of Chris Fitzgerald, has to be the best one yet. This is so special because we'll be running through the Barrio, and the main focus at the beginning was to educate the Black and brown community. And we're running through a predominantly Latino community, a predominantly Black community as well. And it's just, we're going through the Temple community, we're touching different neighborhoods in the city, which is what Philadelphia is really about. If you come out to a Swagga House Run Club event, we call it the cookout, a family reunion. Every single month we get together. The vibes are just one of love, support, and just, we're just gonna have, it's gonna be off the charts. And I'm smiling, and I can barely contain my excitement because, you know, I know that this is gonna be the best one yet, little bro.
It's a different type of feeling. Like already when you're running, for me, it's a great way to just release and think and block out any issues that I really have going on in life. So, but I think on Saturday it's gonna be even more amplified by the fact that there's a big purpose behind this. And then running through my old neighborhood, I don't know, man, goosebumps, you know what I'm saying? It's just amazing, that energy with everyone, you know? Just vibing and running through the streets of Philly, ain't nothing like it.
If we're gonna build community, we gotta work together. And that's what this vibe is gonna be. I can't, there's no words that I can think of that can describe it. You'll be able to feel it though at the event for sure. It's something that you can't describe. You have to feel it, you have to be there, and you have to experience it. And the Barrio 5K in honor of Chris Fitzgerald is gonna have all those feels and all those emotions. But as I said, it's gonna be one of positivity and of love, and it's gonna be the Christopher Fitzgerald way.
Let's get it. When I say live like, y'all say Chris. Live like Chris.